Rachel Maddow went to Dick Cheney's funeral yesterday. We can do this, people. It's Thanksgiving. Do yourself a favor, get over yourself, and go have it with your family.
If there's one thing we shouldn't have to say out loud in America, it's this. Thanksgiving should not be controversial. And yet, here we are. A holiday built around food, family, and napping on the couch has somehow become another political battlefield. You almost have to laugh at how absurd it's gotten. But before we dive in, do me a quick favor, tap that like button and subscribe so you don't miss future videos where we break down the chaos with a little humor and a lot of honesty. Now, back to it. Bill Maher kicked things off with his classic mix of sarcasm and common sense, saying he couldn't believe Thanksgiving itself has become a political issue. And honestly, same here. When did stuffing, turkey, and sweet potato casserole become partisan problems? Who looked at mashed potatoes and thought, this is somehow oppressive? According to Maher, and he not wrong, the far left has been on a kind of holiday-destroying tour lately. First Halloween was problematic, then Father's Day became a symbol of patriarchy, and now Thanksgiving is basically cancelled unless everyone at the table votes the same way. Imagine needing a political background check just to pass the cranberry sauce. But Maher goes deeper. He points out that we've reached a point where people are literally cutting off family not because of betrayal or a real falling out, but because someone voted red instead of blue. How wild is that? Politics is now breaking up more families than letting your spouse scroll through your phone. And honestly, he's not wrong.
Happy Thanksgiving. I can't believe that even that now is a political issue. It is a real shame what's happened to this holiday, which used to be all about the good F's: food, friends, family, football, fun. And now it's fuck you. You're not even invited because you voted for the wrong person. I'm so tired of liberals ghosting half this country. Conservatives do it too, but not nearly as much. Look, whoever's doing it, it's got to stop, because we're at a point now where politics has broken up more families than letting your wife see your phone.
This go-no-contact trend Maher talks about isn't just random internet drama, it's becoming part of people's identities. Some are proudly wearing it like a badge of honor, announcing they won't sit with their own parents because of who they voted for. When did we start treating ideological purity like a religion? Cutting ties used to be a fringe concept, now it's almost a personality trait. Even David Litt, who once worked as a speechwriter for Obama, admitted he used to snub his conservative relatives and realized, that was a mistake. You'd think people would applaud that kind of personal growth. But instead, the woke wing tried to cancel him for daring to suggest that maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't sever ties with half the country over political disagreements. Heaven forbid anyone pause to reflect and try being a normal human again.
Now, on the liberal side, there's two camps now. The we need to keep talking to people wing and the go no contact wing. That's what they call it now, go no contact. This belief that Trump voters, even if it's your own parents, are too deplorable for human contact and must be cut off. You know, like Scientologists do to suppressive people. A former speechwriter for Obama named David Litt wrote an op-ed this year called, "Is it time to stop snubbing your right-wing family?" where he admitted he'd had a change of heart, and that was the wrong approach. So, of course, then the woke wing tried to banish him for breaking ranks on their policy of hating people who don't agree with you on everything, because what fun is life if you're not cutting somebody off?
Then there's Molly McNinney, Jimmy Kimmel's wife and head writer, who shared how she lost touch with relatives after emailing them 10 reasons not to vote for Trump, reasons they didn't heed. 10 reasons. But as Maher pointed out, even if you had 100, an ultimatum isn't persuasion, it's pressure. And pressure doesn't make people rethink their politics, it makes them rethink you. That line really lands.
Molly McNinney, Jimmy Kimmel's wife and head writer, went public on this topic recently, so I feel it's fair to comment respectfully in public. She says she's lost relationships with relatives because she wrote them an email before the election with 10 reasons why they shouldn't vote for Trump, and some still didn't obey. So, 10 reasons. I could think of 100. But I would never present it to someone as an ultimatum. Ultimatums don't make people rethink their politics, they make them rethink you.
Because it's true. And that's where things get really interesting. The far left is turning Thanksgiving into an unbearable moral test, as if sitting next to your uncle who watches Fox News is the same as dining with a war criminal. Newsflash, it's not that serious. Disagreeing with someone at the dinner table isn't oppression, it's called family. If anything, refusing to show up because someone supports the wrong candidate says more about you than them. Thanksgiving is supposed to be a day to pause, breathe, and appreciate the good things, however small. Yet some people are so consumed by political resentment that they can't even pretend to be grateful for a single day. They've turned bitterness into a lifestyle. Maher even joked that some liberals treat their values as a code for, "I'm the only one with a moral compass." And he's not wrong. Here the kicker: Maher himself votes Democrat. He's not speaking from the right. He's speaking from a place where common sense used to guide people. His point is simple. If 77 million Americans didn't trust your side to take power, maybe it's worth asking why rather than pretending you're the only ones who care about the country.
Somewhere along the way, my values became code for I'm the only one with a moral compass. You know what would have been a better exercise? Write a top 10 list to yourself where you try to imagine 10 reasons why 77 million Americans didn't want to trust you with taking power. And I say that as someone who votes Democratic. As I like to remind my very pure friends, we voted for the same person. You're just why she lost.
But instead, the left doubled down. They turned Trump into a cartoonish villain, the boogeyman lurking under the bed of American politics. Rather than handling political disappointment like adults debating, organizing, persuading, they often just melt down. Every day feels like a new emotional emergency. They attack him relentlessly, exaggerate every flaw, and portray him as the source of everything wrong in society. The wildest part: many don't even fully understand what he actually did or didn't do. Their anger is driven more by vibes than by facts. And when vibes start guiding politics, everything turns into a crisis, even Thanksgiving dinner.
Do you really not get it at this point? Everything with him is done through personal relationships. He's a people guy. Trust me, he's not at home at night poring over the briefing books. This is government by people is saying. If anything, we need more people like me having dinner with him. You complain he's surrounded by ass-kissers, but your strategy is to make sure no one but ass-kissers are around him? You are not serious people.
Look, disagreement doesn't ruin a family gathering, but refusing to show up does. Mature adults can sit in the same room with people who hold different opinions without needing emotional life support. You can debate, clash a little, and still pass the gravy like normal people. Not every difference of opinion has to become a moral battle.
Rachel Maddow went to Dick Cheney's funeral yesterday. We can do this, people. It's Thanksgiving. Do yourself a favor, get over yourself, and go have it with your family.
And then there's the bigger theme. The far left growing hostility toward free speech. You've seen it. Say something even slightly outside the approved narrative, and they don't just debate you, they try to destroy you. The goal isn't conversation, it's punishment. It's fear. Agree with us or else. Suddenly, people are digging up old tweets, contacting HR departments, pushing for firings, blacklisting, cancellations, whatever it takes to eliminate the heretic. And if that fails, they target your spouse, your friends, your social life. It no longer disagreement, it ideological warfare. Maher points to the UK as a warning. There, people are literally being arrested over tweets. Graham Linehan, a well-known, award-winning writer, was detained not for violence, not for threats, not for harming anyone, but simply for expressing the wrong opinions online about gender. That's the path an ultra-ideological mindset can lead to. America isn't there yet, thankfully, but you can already see the seeds being planted.
But it also can't become what the UK is now, a place where you get arrested for tweets, something that happens 12,000 times a year now in Britain. Last week, the Irish sitcom writer Graham Linehan, who's won an Emmy and 5 BAFTA awards, got off a plane at Heathrow and got arrested by 5 British cops. Not because he was selling drones to the Houthis, just because he's a crank who spends way too much time online ranting about gender ideology, which is an odd obsession for a comedian from across the pond, because if men weren't allowed to dress as women, British comedy wouldn't exist.
Maher basically says, listen, you can't defend silencing people. Even Lisa Cook, a Fed board member, reportedly tried to get a professor fired not for being insulting or hateful, but simply for not showing enough enthusiasm for MLK Day. That where we've ended up, it's not enough to agree. You have to agree correctly, loudly, with the approved passion and phrasing. If that isn't ideological control, what is?
Don't be a hypocrite and defend attacks on speech from the left, because you either get the concept or you don't. And sadly, a lot of people don't anymore. Yes, mostly the young who were never taught it by their derelict educational system. But also Lisa Cook. She's the Fed board member Trump is trying to fire for bullshit reasons, and they are bullshit. But when she tried to get another professor fired because he once, according to one student, was less than rapturous about Martin Luther King Day, no, she should know better. She said free speech should have its limits. Yes, it should, and does. And this comes nowhere close to them.
Then Maher quotes Ricky Gervais, who put it perfectly: if you don't defend someone's right to say things you find offensive, you don't really believe in free speech. Free speech that only protects what you like isn't free speech, it's censorship dressed up as virtue. True freedom means hearing things that irritate you, things that make you roll your eyes. It covers everything from J.K. Rowling carefully worded essays to Dave Chappelle jokes to Graham Linehan outspoken Twitter posts. You don't have to agree with or even like any of it, but you can't demand that people be fired, isolated, silenced, or jailed simply because you disliked a punchline.
But in the words of that great Brit Ricky Gervais, if you don't believe in a person's right to say things that you might find grossly offensive, then you don't believe in freedom of speech. You shouldn't have to eat your words at the airport. The chicken Alfredo on the flight was bad enough. So, Linehan may be crude, but there's plenty of non-crazy people, liberal people, who think the left has gone a little mad with trans issues. Some have expressed that opinion with literary sophistication, like J.K. Rowling. Some by getting big laughs, like Dave Chappelle. And some are downright ugly about it, like Linehan. But ugly is the price of a freedom so great as speech.
That not progressive authoritarianism with emojis. And it all ties back to Thanksgiving. The mindset is the same: conform completely, or you're out. Agree fully, or you don't deserve a seat at the table. Think differently, and you'll be shamed, exiled, or cancelled. That not how a free society works. That not how families survive. That not how democracy functions. A healthy society debates ideas without destroying people. It accepts complexity, leaves room for nuance, and understands that disagreement isn't hostility and normal. The biggest threat to freedom today isn't Trump tweeting, your uncle's bad political takes, or awkward dinner conversations. It's the cultural crusade demanding silence, emotional obedience, and ideological purity. Thanksgiving should be a break from all that, a reset, a reminder that gratitude matters more than outrage and that family matters more than political points. Maher's message hits hard because it's true: if you can't sit at a table with someone who disagrees with you, the problem isn't them, it's you. Politics shouldn't be a reason to sever connections. Holidays shouldn't become battlegrounds. Free speech shouldn't be conditional. Disagreement shouldn't be treated like violence. If we can't tolerate different opinions, we can't truly call ourselves free. Thanksgiving is more than a holiday, it's a reminder that unity doesn't require uniformity, and that gratitude is still possible, even in a divided world. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more content that cuts through the noise with honesty and clarity, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment with your thoughts. Let's keep the conversation going respectfully, openly, and freely.